I love my dad, but it wasn't always easy. He was older than most of the other kids' dads. He served in Vietnam, so he got a later start on life than some of the other dads that I knew. But because he was an Army vet, I was fascinated with anything and everything to do with him being a soldier. Like a lot of boys, I imagined my dad running through the jungle, firing his gun, and saving villagers. He was a hero to me. Most boys see their father as a hero, but we don't truly know the pain that they've gone through. We don't see how broken they are on the inside. One boy finds out the pain behind his dad's war stories in Dog Tags by Mike Noland. Then, the more I discovered about Vietnam, the more I learned how unpopular it was. I learned how much damage it did to not only the soldiers, but to the country. I knew that my dad hadn't waited to be drafted. He joined up right after high school. He wanted to serve his country like his dad did in World War II. Being kind of a snoopy kid, I would find some of his old Army stuff up in the attic and bring it down and ask questions. He wasn't always willing to talk about it, but sometimes, once in a while, depending on his mood, he would tell some stories, and the stories he told were usually pretty funny. Like this one time, he talked about how his company wound up with a monkey that was missing its tail, and it got into some beer and got drunk. Then it just started acting crazy and started swinging from the rafters in the mess hall, and nobody could catch him. Then it forgot its tail was missing, so when it tried to swing from it, it went crashing right into the ground. I guess some monkeys just can't hold their liquor. My dad and I both laughed about that one for a while. He never talked about the actual fighting though, which I thought was weird. So when I asked my mom about it, she said that he didn't want to relive the bad stuff, that he still gets nightmares, that when there's a thunderstorm, he sits on the edge of his bed and smokes until the thunder and lightning are gone. I had no idea. He always seemed so calm but distant. Sometimes he would get that look in his eye and you could tell that he was somewhere else. Somewhere far away. Dad was pretty handy around the house. He would never let Mom call anybody to fix things. He would always say, "A man has to take care of his own house." He would let me watch and sometimes even help out while he was working on something. One day my dad asked me to get a box from the attic, and while up there I knocked over another box. But in the dim light, I saw something shiny. It was his dog tags. But they had a nick taken out of them and looked really beaten up. I thought they were cool, so I put them on and took the boxes downstairs. When I went downstairs, Dad saw what I had around my neck. And he stopped and stared. He said, "Why are you wearing those? You can't wear those." Then he took the dog tags and yanked them off my neck. "This is not some cheap crap from the mall. Men died in these. Soldiers in battle. Don't you ever do that again." He took the dog tags, went into his room and slammed the door. I was stunned. I never meant to upset him. I wanted to wear them out of pride. I told Mom what had happened and she said, "Don't worry. He just gets like that sometimes." I felt awful. I just wanted to wear them because they had been his. A few days later, Dad came home. And he said, "Hey, Mark, come sit with me on the porch." I thought, man, I'm gonna get it. He was looking down at the ground and I sat right next to him and waited for him to speak. Finally, he said, "First, I'm sorry about the other day. You didn't mean to do anything wrong and I overreacted. I hadn't seen those dog tags in a long time. They don't hold a lot of good memories. I saw things during the war nobody should have to see. I was standing right next to a guy when he got shot and died. We were mostly boys, fighting for our friends and families. Many of them never had a chance to get a job, get married, start a family. As he talked, he pulled something out of his pocket. And he opened his hand, revealing the dog tags. I can't change the bad things that happened in my life, and you won't be able to either. I might have been a little tough on you at times, but it's for your own good. He held the dog tags while he said, "These dog tags represent a difficult time in my life, but it was still important. I don't want you to ever know pain like that. And that's why you could never have these." He put them in his pocket and pulled out something else. "Give me your hand," he said. Put out my hand, and he placed something in it. They were dog tags. Not his, but new, shiny dog tags. "These are for you. They come without pain, without suffering. But at some point, you will have some. But a man takes what's given to him, the good and the bad, and makes the best of it." I couldn't believe it, but I saw tears in my dad's eyes. Someday I'll be gone, and you won't be able to ask for my advice or help. I hope when that day comes, I've gotten you ready, and you will know what to do. With that, he gave me a hug and walked into the house. I sat there, speechless. Then I looked at the dog tags, and he had them inscribed. As I read it, I started to cry. It said, "To my son, be the man I know you can be. Love always, Dad."